The price difference between building a gaming PC and buying a console has never been greater, with now an astronomically expensive time to build yourself a new gaming PC. With mid-range graphics cards now costing $600 or more, is this just the way things are going to be forevermore, or is PC hardware finally going to get cheaper for good this time? In this video, I'm going to be exploring just that, and explaining why now is kind of a terrible time to build a gaming PC, but why we could just be on the cusp of greatness. Let's do this. I've been wanting to make a video like this for some time, but I've been keeping a close eye on new CPU and GPU releases to see if building a PC and the components that you require are going to start getting any cheaper. Spoiler alert, they haven't. Last week I then watched PC Centric's latest video called Is PC Gaming Dying?
Is PC gaming dying?
And resonated really closely with a lot of the stuff that he said. I'll link that video down below. But off the back of that, I wanted to do some research of my own and figure out what the direction of travel is in terms of PC hardware pricing. The main issue that I see in the market right now is the prices of these graphics cards. Now, of course, it's exciting to see range-topping 4090 and 4080 GPUs, cards that give an insight into the next generation of performance. But then I thought back to the humble 3050, a card released a year ago, and the last true budget GPU to actually hit the market. Yes, AMD have released their utterly terrible RX 65 and 6400 in the same time windows, but I think we can all agree neither of those are particularly great for gaming. To be frank, the 3050's not exactly fantastic either. Now, these huge rises in GPU prices haven't also been helped by increasing costs of other PC hardware. Of course, we've had the new AMD Ryzen 7000 lineup. Those chips started off pretty eye-wateringly expensive and thankfully have fallen in price if you look at retail availability. And the same goes for DDR5 memory. I remember a 32 gig kit of DDR5 about 6-7 months ago would cost you just shy of $200. You can now buy one of those for less than $100. And AMD's new X3D variant chips, while really incredible actually in performance in many ways, haven't helped things either in terms of bringing more budget-oriented components to the market. This is particularly interesting against a global economic backdrop of a recession, where people have less money to spend and are thinking more carefully about the luxury purchases that they buy. And I'm sure AMD and Nvidia would say that that is perhaps the reason why GPU sales are slowing. But I'm also not particularly convinced that most people want these huge behemoth $1,500 or $2,000 graphics cards to become normal. Of course, there'll always be a place for them amongst the mega enthusiasts who want the best of the best. But I would say that the reason sales of mid-range and lower-end graphics cards like these are probably quite slow right now is because no one's actually released any that are actually particularly interesting. When you look at the last 10 graphics cards that released into the market, how many do you think cost less than $400? Spoiler alert, 2. The RX 6650 XT came in with an MSRP of $399. That's a pretty decent card, by the way, with the RX 6400 coming in at far less, but with basically terrible performance that no one should actually buy. Meaning, of the last 10 graphics cards launched into the market, only one cost less than $400 and should actually be considered. It's no wonder then that cards like the RX 6600, a GPU that will turn 2 years old this year, has suddenly fallen so heavily into favor. Now, the good news is this could be about to change. The rumor mill suggests that AMD are about to release their RX 7600-ish tier GPU, a card that looks to fight against Nvidia's 3060, a GPU that, by the way, isn't even still really readily available at MSRP or below, at least not if you want the pick of different coolers. But another big reason that this might be about to change is that people like you guys are voting, I was going to say with your feet, with your wallets. If you look at the RTX 4070, by far the cheapest next-gen graphics card we've seen, AMD's nearest rival is like $900, by the way, hasn't sold in particularly big quantities at all. In fact, if you look all around the world, in the UK, in the US, Canada, and further afield, cards are now available below MSRP after just a matter of weeks. In Germany, the cards were below MSRP in under a week, and in Poland, they were below MSRP in 3 days. What a difference that is to the GPU market market just 12 or 18 months ago. But as I say, it isn't just GPUs, and this is where things might be about to get that little bit better. I don't think I've ever seen a period of such rapid hardware evolution and naturally the price rises that come with it. It's not just new memory generations in the form of DDR5 and PCIe Gen 4, but ATX3 power supplies and designs that have got the new fancy PCIe Gen 5 connector as standard. Factors which have pushed power supplies that would normally cost, I don't know, $100 to $170 or $180. But these prices will fall, just like AM5 motherboards have got cheaper, and just how AMD stealthily released their new budget-oriented chipset that will finally properly rival the cheap H and B series chipset boards currently offered from Intel. AMD and Nvidia, in my mind, have a clear choice. In order to put a rocket up the proverbial bottom of the PC hardware industry, they need to release products people A, actually want to buy, B, people can actually afford. Because I'm not convinced that people don't want to spend money on a new gaming PC. People just don't want to spend thousands and thousands. Never before has the industry had such a pick of high-end GPUs. And it's no surprise when manufacturers have got used to selling their cards for ludicrous amounts of money during the scalping and mining crazes of 2020, 2021, and I suppose a bit of 2022. Now, I've not made this video to create a blame game culture where everybody points at everybody else and goes, it's your fault, no, it's your fault, no, it's my fault anyway. Instead, what I'm suggesting is that things need to change and move in the right direction, and that by staving away from these new, expensive and arguably overpriced graphics cards, gamers like yourselves are doing the biggest thing possible to encourage AMD and Nvidia to enter back into that budget GPU segment, because trust me, when one of them brings out a viable, competitive, next-gen budget GPU, the other will very quickly follow. And the day that that happens, which could be in as little as a few weeks, will be damn exciting, because the next-gen features that will filter down into cards that cost $300 or even less genuinely will change the game for the budget gaming and PC hardware market. So buckle in, hold tight, better days are coming, I hope. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to get subscribed. Bit of a different one from me. Sorry for the negativity, and hopefully I'll be back with some budget builds using new hardware that are more positive in the near future. Thank you for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.